The Pittsburgh Steelers dominated the Cincinnati Bengals by a score of 34-12 this past Sunday. The Steelers' defense had a massive day, scoring twice by way of a Kyle Duggar pick-six and a James Pierre fumble recovery. The defense was able to hold Joe Flacco and company in check after getting thrashed by them just a few weeks ago. Aaron Rodgers suffered a small fracture in his wrist, but fan favorite Mason Rudolph played well in Rodgers' absence. Did the Steelers move up in the latest power rankings? It's time to find out. ESPN number 16 last week. While Tomlin's contract runs through 2027, and there's no reason to believe the Steelers would move on from him before that, the external pressure has never been higher for the coach to break a decade of postseason futility. At times this season, Tomlin has coached the Steelers to convincing, improbable wins, such as over the Colts in Week 9. But those victories have been sandwiched by losses in which the Steelers' schemes appeared outdated and the players looked old. Though Tomlin promised historic things in the preseason from the league's highest-paid defense, the Steelers are far from the Super Bowl favorite. Tomlin could quell some of the fan angst by winning a playoff game. Brooke Pryor. CBS Sports number 17 last week. The Aaron Rodgers broken wrist could wreck their chances of winning the division. Then again, the Ravens are coming. Pete Prisco. The Sporting News number 14 last week. The Steelers lost Aaron Rodgers versus the Bengals, but saw Mason Rudolph operate the offense better with their defense also making the needed big plays to keep their lead in the division and also split the series versus Cincinnati. Vinny Iyer. USA Today number 17 last week. Humongous T. Darnell Washington, 6'7", allegedly 264 pounds, is most definitely one of the league's most remarkable athletes. This offense could need him more than ever, whatever capacity that might be, if it has to navigate any period of time without injured QB Aaron Rodgers. Nate Davis. NFL.com number 14 last week. The big news coming out of Sunday's win was the wrist injury to Aaron Rodgers, which might not be a season ender, but it's a concern nonetheless. To his credit, Mason Rudolph was slightly more effective than Rodgers was on Sunday. The backup did his job, entering the game protecting a 1-point lead and leaving it with a 22-point victory. Pittsburgh's defense also deserves credit, delivering yet another strong performance on the whole, with Kyle Duggar's pick-six helping vault the team to the win. We'll see what Rodgers' status is, but getting a win after losing 3 of 4, and with a tough upcoming slate, was a critical development. Pittsburgh is currently the number 4 seed, but there's a lot of work left before we can say it's comfortably in the postseason picture. Eric Edholm. It's tough to be too upset about these rankings, given the up-and-down play of the Steelers as a whole over the course of the season. The Steelers will have an opportunity to rise up the power rankings and gain the respect of the rest of the league over the next several weeks, as they face a bit of a gauntlet ahead. Over the next 3 weeks, the Steelers travel to Chicago to face the Bears, who seem to be ahead of schedule with Ben Johnson, followed by the Bills and the Ravens. It will be an important few weeks for the Steelers as they continue to hold a 1-game lead in the division over Baltimore. As Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin likes to say, one man's misfortune is another man's opportunity. That certainly could be the case for rookie quarterback Will Howard this week. Veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers will not practice to begin Week 12 because of a fracture in his left wrist. Rodgers could still play Sunday against the Chicago Bears, but Mason Rudolph will run the first-team offense at Wednesday's practice. Howard could see some reps with the first team too. In the meanwhile, certainly it'll provide opportunities for Mason and Will to get quality work as we start the week, and I think that's the posture that we're in, Tomlin told reporters toward the beginning of his Tuesday press conference. Howard getting first-team offense reps at practice could be tremendous for his development. When asked specifically about Howard practicing with the first team, Tomlin indicated it was a possibility. We'll see, Tomlin told reporters. We'll see where the week goes. Will Howard to see opportunity with Aaron Rodgers sidelined? To be clear, Rodgers fracturing a bone in his left wrist is not good news for the Steelers overall. A big reason why the team is 6-4 is because of the 4-time MVP's leadership and efficiency. With Rodgers behind center, the Steelers have greatly improved in the red zone this season. The team has been able to navigate a poor time of possession and low number of plays to have a serviceable offensive output on the scoreboard. But Rodgers not being able to practice before the Week 12 matchup against the Bears is great fortune for Howard. The rookie signal caller missed the entire preseason because of his own hand injury. So, any reps he gets the rest of the year could be crucial to his development. The timing of Rodgers' injury couldn't be any better for Howard. The rookie quarterback just came off injured reserve on November 12th. Granted, Pittsburgh's primary objective this week will be getting Rudolph ready to face Chicago. Howard's practice opportunities will likely only be tied to having him prepared enough in case he has to play versus the Bears. Steelers insider Mark Kaboly reminded Steelers fans of that fact on X on Tuesday. If Howard gets first-team reps this week, it will be very few and be just in case Rodgers is out and Rudolph gets hurt in the game, Kaboly posted. It doesn't mean he has a chance to start over Mason. But again, any chances the rookie receives in practice is good for his career in the long term. Mike Tomlin complimentary of Howard. The rookie quarterback came off injured reserve just a week ago. But the Steelers opened his 21-day practice window on October 22nd. Even before that, Howard was studying Rodgers from the sideline. Tomlin told reporters Tuesday the rookie's work has been very good. He's a sharp guy. Like the general trajectory of his work, Tomlin told reporters. He's certainly in the position that he's in, doesn't get a lot of quote-slash-unquote Steelers reps, but the reps that he does get he has taken advantage of, and I'm sure there will be an uptick in those opportunities this week. That will surely excite Steelers fans. But as Kaboly stated, though, there's no doubt that Rudolph is QB2 behind Rodgers. New Orleans Saints are one of the worst teams in the league this season, and they took a few steps toward their rebuild at the trade deadline. This week, they took another step toward that rebuild. The Saints opted to cut ties with veteran wide receiver Brandin Cooks in an attempt to save a bit of money. Cooks is able to sign a deal with any team in the league at this point. Bleacher Report's Adam Wells recently suggested the Pittsburgh Steelers could be a potential fit for Cooks in free agency for the rest of the season. The Steelers notably whiffed on other top wide receivers at the trade deadline. After being mentioned as a potential trade candidate earlier this month, New Orleans Saints wide receiver Brandin Cooks will be able to pick his next destination for the remainder of the season, Wells wrote. For teams seeking help at wide receiver for the stretch run, Cooks immediately becomes a viable option as soon as he hits the free agent market. Some of the playoff contenders with an obvious need at wideout include the Buffalo Bills, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Green Bay Packers. The Steelers were all over the receiver market prior to the November 4th deadline, but were unable to make a deal. They reportedly made offers to the Saints for Shaheed and Las Vegas Raiders for Jacoby Myers that were both turned down. DK Metcalf has been exactly what Pittsburgh wanted when he was acquired from the Seattle Seahawks in the offseason. No other pass catcher on the Steelers has more than 300 receiving yards entering Week 12. The Steelers need one more wide receiver for the stretch run of the season. They would have been a perfect fit for Rashid Shaheed at the trade deadline, but they whiffed on him. Now, adding Cooks would be the perfect fit. He's not going to be a superstar if he signs with the Steelers, but he would fill a valuable role in the team's offense. The move would be affordable and easy to make. There's very low risk to it, but potentially a decent amount of reward if he plays well.